Why is WIBI very important? I think Attorney Joby already explained that very eloquently. It's experimental by all indications, but very promising. So it's not only being done in the Philippines, but globally. That's why we are in this, the UN is supporting this new and innovative approaches that have promised to actually address the growing dangers of what has been already cited as a global phenomenon, which is climate change. As you know, it's no longer a secret that the Philippines is one of the most vulnerable countries in the world. No? In fact, we have been cited as being third globally in terms of vulnerability to natural hazards and more so to climate change at this point. In fact, I think you also know that losses from natural hazards and of course natural disasters actually reach a high of 0.5% of GDP every year. So that's really substantial. Not to mention the the losses in terms of lives, no? And the disruption that they bring. So this intensifying vulnerability needs to be addressed frontally, meaning we cannot reserve for the future impacts that we are actually experiencing now, and that is what you call the anticipatory approach to climate change. We are, of course, adjusting. Every day, we have autonomous adaptation. Everybody has to adapt because the effects are being felt. However, globally, everyone is preparing, and of course, that should include us. The difference between anticipatory climate change adaptation, of course, and autonomous is that here, the state or the government is actually involved in a big way and is trying to organize stakeholders to actually adapt, or prepare for the bigger impacts that we are going to experience. Of course, the bigger challenge is actually resilience building. In the disaster risk reduction and management continuum, unfortunately, this part, especially the risk sharing, risk transfer portion, or the ones or the step that is addressing residual risks. As you know, there is no such thing as zero danger or zero risk. So even if we do all we can in terms of preventing, avoiding impacts, from phenomena like climate change, there is still a big chance that we are going to be hit by large disasters, or as we said, the creeping losses can actually come up to something substantial that we might not be able to defray the costs of. So this work is actually very important, meaning addressing residual risk through such things as insurance. Okay. What I would like to probably encourage in this inception workshop is the fact that, we need to work with partners. This is not a one-off undertaking, and its success will really depend on how we work with partners. That's why we have made extra effort, for example, to know exactly what GIZ is doing, what World Bank is doing, because we do not want to fall over each other in terms of doing the same thing. And of course, we're very glad that PCIC is orchestrating all of this. No? So we are quite confident that all the inputs into this work will be incremental and will eventually benefit the country in a faster way. Okay. So the UN is not into doing projects. It really has actually a normative task, meaning to help governments to identify the best approaches, okay, the best global standards that countries can use in addressing development issues like climate change. And this project, we hope, will contribute, no, to that normative role that we have. So we are not in a business as usual situation. And again, as pointed out by Attorney Jovi, the inception workshop is not only important because it will define the planned activities in the project document, but also to tighten the complementation relationships with partners.